Fellow Satsangis, happy to continue the Seva of the Seven Taoist Masters, Chapter 3. We left off with Master Wang pretending to be sick, to be crazy, locking himself up in his study. And we see Wang continuing in this state after the doctor had prescribed him some medicine. His son came back from the herb shop, and Wang continues to act and continues to have these behaviors in order to even scare the people that are trying to attend him. So he had his servants scared, his wife scared, everyone is made to have as little contact as possible with Wang, and him refusing medications, herbs and everything. And his wife took over actually Wang's business and his day-to-day affairs at home. Relatives and friends began to get used to Wang's illness and erratic behavior, so everyone started to leave him alone. Now he was really able to practice internal alchemy, and his servant would bring him food 3 times a day. This went on for 12 years, during which Wang was able to achieve the internal transformation that allowed his spirit to leave and enter his body by will. Knowing that he had completed his training, Wang gave himself a Taoist name, Wang Chung Yang. Chung Yang means recovering the essence of Yang. One day, when he was meditating, he heard a voice calling his name. Wang Chung Yang, ascend to the heavens immediately for instructions from the heavenly lords. Wang's spirit ascended to heaven and saw the Lord of the Star Taipa, means white tiger, and he was standing there to greet him. He bowed low, and the scribe of the heavenly Lord read from a scroll. Wang Chung Yang, your efforts of cultivating the Tao are acknowledged by the guardians of the Tao. You have attained the fruit of cultivation and have achieved the status of an immortal. You are given the title Enlightened Master who opens the way. Go to Shantung province immediately and find the 7 persons who are destined to be your disciples. When you have helped them attain the Tao, your rank in the immortal realm will be raised. Wang Chengjian thanked the heavenly lords and the guardians of the Tao. The Lord of Taipa added, Enlightened One, you must hurry to Shantung immediately to help the people to return to the Tao. Your name is One Who Opens the Way. The karma of many rests on your efforts. We shall meet again at the gathering of the immortals, when the Empress of Heaven summons us to taste the peach of immortality. And then the next morning, the servant who came to attend Wang to bring his breakfast found the door locked. No, he knocked many times, but he did not answer. And people started to realize that Wang was not there. They forced open the door and saw that there was nobody there. This was very mysterious to them because there were no windows, there were no places where he could have escaped from. An elderly man in the crowd, as they were all gathered and discussing this issue of Wang missing, said, You need not look for Master Wang. I think he has become an immortal and has ascended to heaven. A number of people voiced disbelief, but the old man continued, Have you not noticed the complexion and the appearance of your master? A sick man does not have rosy cheeks and bright eyes. He has aged almost nothing in the 12 years of isolation in his study. And some people had to admit this was true. Wang had remained very, very youthful, not looking sick at all, really, in his complexion. This reminds us of our dear master Ishwar Puriji Maharaj, how he had so much vigor, even in his advanced age, more than 90 years old. And you could feel that he was even more vigorous, more alive than a child, even as he had sometimes to be moved in a wheelchair. You could sense his immense energy. You can sense his immense vigor. And you can sense how his face just shone so much. Everything is coming from the source in this case. The same with this description, and there are many descriptions like this in the mystical paths in history of how people are blessed, really, and their bodies have start to have a different physiology. And others also doubted that Wang had somehow uh, become enlightened. Of course, a lot of people still thought he was just crazy. And actually, he used some magical abilities to escape from his home. He started traveling. He started traveling eastward to Shantung province to find his 7 disciples. He journeyed thousands of miles, but he only met two kinds of people in his travels: those who desired fame and those who desired riches. No one was interested in what he had to teach about the Tao. Seeing the apathetic attitude of the people, he returned to Shenxi province. And in a certain area that he enjoyed, he buried himself into a cave where he brought his breath under control. Like an animal hibernating in winter, he slowed down his bodily functions, conserving the energy for the day he would emerge from the cave. And he was waiting for the opportunity where people would be ready to receive the Tao. But after a year of this, the immortal Lu and the immortal Chung Li Chuan, they came to him and they left. And immortal Lu said, "When people become immortal, they ascend to the heavens. How come you, becoming immortal, you hid yourself underground? It looks like you haven't been doing what you were supposed to." And Wang explained that he didn't mean to disobey their orders, but that nobody would listen to the Tao, and that he was waiting for an opportunity for people to accept it and to be ready. Immortal Lu said, "There are people waiting for you everywhere. You could not find them because you did not know how to look. Take yourself, for instance. You were destined to attain the Tao. Yet, we could not have found you had we not disguised ourselves as beggars, traveling around the countryside. If we had simply looked around, we would never have found you. Do you understand now? Everyone is ready to accept the Tao. It is up to you to find the right opportunity to teach them." Immortal Lu continued, "I was in the city of Loyang and found that there was no opportunity for me to teach the people there. And I went to the kingdom of Qin, a land of so-called barbarians. There I found the prime minister of the kingdom to be a virtuous man, and I imparted to him the teachings of the Tao. This man immediately resigned his office, left his fiefdom, and followed me into the mountains. He has now attained the Tao and has been given the Taoist name Liu Haichan, Liu journeying south, and gave the teachings to Chang Tzu-yang. Chang Tzu-yang became the patriarch of the Southern School of Taoism. From the 7 lines of transmission which originated from him came the 7 Taoist masters of the Southern School. For Chang Tzu-yang taught Huo Xinglin. Huo Xinglin transmitted the teachings to Sui Tao Kuang. Sui Tao Kuang taught Chen Qi-Tzu. Chen Qi-Tzu taught Pai Tzu-Ching. Pai Tzu-Ching gave the teachings to Liu Yu-Nian and Pang Ho-Lin. From them the teachings of the Tao blossomed in the South, and each was responsible for imparting the teachings of the Tao to many. And here you are saying that there is no one to be taught. Your 7 disciples are destined for immortality. They will form the Northern School of Taoism and be known as the 7 Taoist Masters of the Northern School. You should learn from the example of Liu Hai-chan, for your abilities are not inferior to his. And when Wang Chengyan heard this, he trembled in fear and remained prostrated on the ground. And here we see how, in the first place, how these immortals seem to be all-knowing. They are connected with God. They are one with God. They are one with the Tao, or the Shabd, the true reality. And so they realize that everything is already destined. Everything is already written. And Master Wang is destined to be a master, and he is destined to initiate and to nurture his 7 disciples. And they, in turn, are destined to become masters and to start the Northern School of this line of mysticism. And so this is how also our own master described the situation to be, that we are destined, if we've been initiated by a perfect living master, how his disciples are destined already. There is a place in Sachkhand already. There's a place in the true home, in the true region of absolute consciousness. There is already, our names are there, that we will reach there. And we see this aspect as well of the lines of transmission, how a mystic will create from his disciples even more enlightened consciousness and enlightened opportunity for beings to be initiated and reach the Tao or reach Sachkhand. And this is just one more example in this particular culture, in this particular time that we are seeing here of medieval China. And so Immortal Cheng Li Chuan directed him to stand up and said kindly, "Do you know why we are pressing you to hurry and help the Northern 7 Masters to attain immortality? It is because the meeting of the immortals in the celebration of the flowering of the immortal peach is imminent. The peach tree grows on the mountain Kunlun, where it flowers once every 1,000 years. And the Empress of Heaven shares the peach with the immortals. And she does not want to eat the fruit all by herself. The 7 Taoist masters of the Northern School are on the invitation list, but in order to attend the celebration, they must have attained the Tao by then. If those invited do not attend, the Empress of Heaven will be very disappointed. In the first era of humankind, 1,000 mortals attained immortality. In the second era, a few hundred will achieve immortality. These immortals will return to the earth realm to help others leave the wheel of reincarnation after their deeds are acknowledged by the Empress of Heaven at the celebration. If you are unable to help your 7 disciples attain the Tao by the time of the celebration, many mortals will have to wait another 3,000 years before their teacher will appear. With this, Wang Chengyang finally understood. Humbly he said, "My heart was clouded, now it is clear. I shall go to Shantung and search for my 7 disciples." And Wang set out for Shantung province, and remembering what the immortals had taught him, he disguised himself as a beggar, and he entered a town and mingled with the people. Thank you so much for Seva. Looking forward to continuing this Seva of the 7 Taoist Masters.